truth vibration, this energetic change that we're experiencing. And I'm beginning to understand more and more is the reason this conspiracy is running almost panic-stricken to put the lid on through microchipping people and surveillance and control and all the rest of it, is to put the lid on because they know this is coming. And they knew it's been coming, and that's why now they're suddenly going really as fast as they can to create this prison world, to shut people down as this truth vibration starts to wake them up, and to break up this schism, bring back the vibrational harmony, and bring us back to the kind of world we used to have when we were in harmony with each other, with self, and with all existence. Now, there's this thing coming up, 2012, and people are talking about 2012 and vibrational change. Now, given what I've just said and what I wrote 20 years ago, I should be saying, yeah, see, supports what I said. I don't go with 2012, me. I think it's overplayed. I think there's a lot more to know about it, and I think it's a diversion. But is there a vibrational change? My God, there is. And nearly there. I don't go in for this channeling stuff very much. But because there are some people who can open their consciousness, open their mind, and access high levels of consciousness, reality, dimensions, whatever you want to call them, and bring down that information into this reality to give you a real big, greater awareness of this. But there are others who claim to be channels and that stuff, who are actually channeling their own bloody mind and filling it with their own belief systems and all the rest of it. So you have to be very careful. And I don't go in for that much, but you get someone who's good and really out there, and it can be tremendous stuff. Well, in 1990, just after I had this awakening, or was in the process of it, I got introduced to this lady. I met her twice. And she used to channel this entity, which guy had the name Magnu. It doesn't matter, it's just a name for a consciousness. And I was new to all this stuff, what's happening to my life, and that I couldn't work it out. But I saw this woman, a friend of mine took me to see her because she said, oh, she's brilliant and stuff. And if people don't believe in shape-shifting, they should see this woman. She kind of sat there, and we had a chat, and she said, well, it's a woman having a chat. And then she goes into this channel mode. Bloody face completely changed. I'm all new to this. I'm thinking, bloody hell, what's going on? And what a change. And the voice was just incredibly different. But a face, I'll never forget it. It just completely changed and transformed. And what she said, I recorded it, and I wrote it down, and I've kept it ever since. 20 years now, nearly, 19 anyway. And my goodness me, as it kind of spanned the years and held its credibility for me. This is what this entity said in 1990, when there was no sign of it, except for a few. I feel you are sensing now the energies coming in, the energies surrounding your planet. This is causing many of you to ask questions. It is causing many of you to reevaluate completely your way of life, where you feel you wish to go, what you want to do. It is causing tremendous upheavals. Some of these upheavals are very confusing, very distressing, very disturbing. Some people in partnerships are finding they can no longer continue in those partnerships because their partners cannot tune in to what they are tuning into. It is causing a great deal of disturbance. And I have said to this sensitive on more than one occasion that you must organize yourself into groups to support each other. Now then, my own allegiance with your planet goes back to an Atlantean period when there were many energies being used and information and knowledge being used, which were, for particular reasons of safety, withdrawn, shall we say, to prevent complete catastrophe, to prevent total destruction of your planet. Here we are now coming back to how we all started this, or talked about a long time ago, part Atlantis. One could say that these were sort of emergency measures, if you like, to prevent the inhabitants of this planet from an untimely destruction. This is the energetic schism I've been on about. Now, at that time, shall we say, This knowledge was distributed only to the few. It was taught in what you might call a temple setting, though I am very careful about using this word. It has connotations, maybe. So let me use that word in the broadest possible sense. There were those initiated into this knowledge, there were grades of initiation, and those who passed the full initiation, these were known as the guardians of the light and keepers of the secret knowledge. This is the context from which I am coming. There came a time when this knowledge and the energies were withdrawn. It is very difficult for me to explain to you precisely what I mean by that, so I will let you mull these things over. As the energies around your planet quicken, these latent energies, these energies which have been withdrawn, will now be phased back in. They will gradually be awakened. As the consciousness level of your planet raises itself, those of you light workers who are working together to raise your consciousness, you will be able to hold more and more refined vibrations, and so we will be able to use you as a catalyst to be able to feed in more and more energies. Now, of course, for energies that are not of this frequency to come in to affect this frequency, they have to be grounded through vehicles that are of this frequency, so they access this frequency range and start to affect it. Otherwise, it's just never the twain shall meet. As more of you raise yourselves to meet the challenge, so we can awaken more of these energies. Now, energy is consciousness, and the energies themselves contain knowledge and the information which is beginning to surface again in your consciousness, so that many of you will remember Atlantean times. You will remember that you communicated with, say, dolphins and whales. You understood these other sentient creatures. You could levitate. You could manifest things. You could cause spontaneous combustion by not miraculous means at all. Once you know what you're doing, these things follow. It's a matter of order. Now, I am looking at a time on your planet when these energies, this knowledge, is reawakened and reintegrated into your consciousness. I'm not looking at a time when this knowledge will be for the few, but when your whole planet will be awakened to this understanding which you have simply forgotten. It's not a matter of new information, it's a matter of remembering who you are and where you come from. So you're being asked to change. You're being asked to change in a total way. It's not a matter of small changes, of a little thing here, a little thing there. You are really being asked to turn yourselves inside out. There is a massive shadow which must be cleared, and it is up to light workers such as yourselves to focus yourself on that challenge. Remember, this was nearly 20 years ago now. Those of you who are in the forefront of this, you are rather like a snowplow. You are the thin end of the wedge. You really have, how shall I put this? To a certain extent, I suppose, you have the shitty end of the job. You have an awful lot to do, but nevertheless, you are capable of doing an awful lot. That's why you've chosen to come. That is why you are here, and what you are here for, to really shovel some shit, and therefore make some space behind you to make it easier for the others. As in your human body, there are energy lines around your planet, through your planet, which correspond, I suppose, very much to the acupuncture lines and meridians in your body. Where two lines cross, you create a vortex, a tiny vortex if it's two. The more lines that intersect, the bigger the vortex. Therefore, when you have a chakra, you have a large vortex of intersecting energy. It is the same with your planet. Where the most lines cross, there is the biggest vortex. Now, you could say the plexus in and around the islands you call the British Isles is the hub of the wheel of plexuses and energies which surround your planet. It has acted in other times like a fail-safe device. In order to activate these chakric points upon your planet, the energies must pass through the central point. They must pass through the heart of the pattern. And that is a key reason why the Illuminati have focused so much of their attention and location upon the British Isles. They are trying to control the heart of the pattern. This is why you have more stone circles, standing stones, per square mile in Britain, especially down the west coast and in Ireland,